Hi, I'm Ellen. I'm going into my third year studying PPE at Jesus College. In the next video in my series, talking about student life at Oxford, I'm going to talk about all the ways people fill their time outside of studying. Ultimately, you go to university to study, and that's important, but it's also important to relax and have fun. Sometimes all the things you can do are overwhelming, so it's a good idea to prioritize a few things that will really get you the university experience you want. But, as you'll see, there are lots of options available, so you really can get into whatever you want. The first thing I'd like to talk about is a more stereotypical way of passing the time at Oxford, doing activities that are more related to academia. The most famous society in Oxford is probably the Oxford Union, not to be confused with the Students' Union, which, along with other events, hosts talks from different speakers who are often quite well known for a lifetime membership fee. If you're not interested in paying for that, there's still lots of other talks going on all the time. You can listen to speakers from all kinds of backgrounds talk about things about your subject that you're likely to be interested in, other subjects you may be curious about, or other interests like volunteering or travel, often completely free of charge. You're also allowed to attend most lectures, even if they're not for your subject, if that's something you're curious about. It's also a popular option to go to your subject society, to meet other people who study or are interested in your subject, and to do a lot of fun activities that are relevant, as well as doing more chill social activities. If you do PPE like me, there's even a separate PPE society, as well as the 3 different subject societies for politics, philosophy, and economics. But those are far from the only societies in Oxford. A really nice society to join if it's relevant to you is your regional society. Most countries or groups of countries outside of the UK are covered by one society or another, and there are some for British regions too. It's also a great place to go for the cultural experience, as Oxford is a truly international university where you can come into contact with cultures you maybe haven't before. But most of all, it's just nice to have a sense of home when you might be far away from it in England. And I find it's nice to go to the Irish Society just to find people who talk like me and get my references. If you like to buy a rainbow flag, there's also a huge LGBTQ+ society that has a big social every week, as well as lots of regular identity-specific events. There are also multiple religious societies if you want to meet people who have that in common with you. Oxford is quite famous for its political societies, and there are societies tied to the main political parties, as well as clubs focused on political issues and discussion. There are several feminist societies, and others which are more focused on general debate, often with cheap alcohol involved to wash down any hard feelings. And if you prefer to report on politics and other aspects of Oxford life to actually participating in it, there are free newspapers with lots of different roles, along with magazines that mainly focus on art or science. I'd say that Cherwell is obviously the superior Oxford newspaper, but as a section editor, I might be a bit biased. Volunteering at Oxford is also pretty popular, whether you're part of Amnesty, Effective Altruism, or Nightline, and this usually involves lots of fun and social events too. There are all kinds of drama groups, and there's always some kind of play or another to perform in or watch. Opportunities for music and arts come up all the time, and playing the organ or singing in the college choir can even get you free stuff. If you just want to do something fun, societies range from board gaming to tiddlywinks to the Guild of Assassins, where people roleplay killing each other for fun. Really, there are just all kinds of societies, and if you want to see one that isn't there yet, you could just start up your own. Of course, there's also a massive selection of sports clubs at Oxford. Any sport you already play or want to try is almost guaranteed to have a club for it, which are usually very beginner friendly, as well as allowing those who are more experienced and competitive to participate. And you can get special awards called Blues if you get very good. For some team sports like football and rugby, colleges often compete against each other, which is fun to take part in or watch, and means that you can compete even if you aren't quite at UK level. Sports clubs generally involve a lot of socials and other fun stuff too, so you can get to know people outside of playing your sport. More exotic sports to try include surfing, rock climbing, and frisbee. On the university website, there's a whole list of sports clubs, which is separate from the non-sports clubs list, and I recommend you check it out if you're interested. As you might know, rowing is an extremely popular sport at Oxford, and we're quite serious about it. It's very accessible to complete beginners at rowing or sport in general, but it can be quite intense. Colleges have several of their own teams, and there are university teams as well, including those who compete in the famous Oxford-Cambridge boat race. If you win certain races, sometimes you get to keep an oar. We have one up in the Jesus Bar. Outside of societies, there are a lot more parties and events. Pops are fun fancy dress parties that are usually held in college at least twice a term and serve cheap alcohol, although people definitely find them fun if they don't drink too. Some of these balls I've been to have included British Icons, Masquerade, Space Age, and the 80s. They're a really nice way to socialise with people from college and get creative with your costume, which is half the fun. Balls are another kind of party at Oxford. Some colleges host them every year, and others every 2 or 3, and societies may host them as well, such as the Raise and Give Ball or the LGBTQ+ Glitter Ball. But there are plenty to choose from in a given year, and you don't need to go to a college to go to its ball. Ball tickets can be quite expensive, but you can get a discount if you receive a bursary from Oxford or if you're on the planning committee. They're generally a very unique experience with food, alcohol, and entertainment that makes for a night full of memories. Other events are held at Oxford, a lot of which are held in college, so which one you can go to depends on your particular college. Special dinners are common, such as events for specific societies, types of people, or subject groups. Your JCR might host special formal events too, and Jesus has one every term: dinner dance, cocktail dance, and their summer soiree. In general, it's a good idea to come to Oxford with either a suit or a couple of nice dresses as applicable. Make sure you're prepared. There are some things to do that are unique to Oxford. Some old traditions happen every year. For example, the first day in May is especially important in the Oxford calendar. Most of the city gets up at dawn to watch the choir boys sing from the top of Magdalen Tower. Then there's a parade and lots of celebrations all morning. And Corpus Christi has an annual tortoise race to celebrate the birthday of their tortoise Emmanuel by racing her against lots of other college tortoises, with the human tortoise race also making up part of the fair. There are also lots of traditions tied to the university. At Oxford, you don't just graduate, you also matriculate. This is a bit like graduation, but for entering the university rather than leaving it. It involves dressing up in your subfusc, which is a formal outfit including a gown, sitting in the Sheldonian Theatre, and listening to some Latin, as any good Oxford celebration includes, before spending the rest of the day celebrating, and of course getting lots of pictures to share with your friends and family. Post-exam celebrations are also a big deal, although trashing, where people throw things at you after exams, has been limited quite a bit because of the Oxford Council. In summary, there are lots of things to do at Oxford outside of studying, and with all of these options, it's difficult to get bored. So don't worry that Oxford is all about hard work and studying, because, as with most universities, there are lots of different things to do. In my next video in this series about student life at Oxford, I'm going to talk about making friends. But if you want to learn something else about Oxford, the Jesus College channel has lots of videos. Bye for now.